If we get enough of these on there, or if we make our list big enough, pretty soon when we start adding new ones, we're not even going to see them. They're off the bottom of the page. So what if we added them to the top instead of adding them to the bottom? Well, how the heck do we do that? Anybody know how to do that to an array? How to add something to the beginning instead of the end? Anybody? It's unshift. Unshift sticks something onto the beginning instead of the end. Why? Well, let's look at what array shift is. JavaScript array shift. The shift method removes the first element from an array. So it's kind of the opposite of pop. It's like you shift the element or shift the array to the right so that this thing isn't there anymore. So to unshift is to stick something onto the beginning. It took me forever to be able to come up with that thing off the top of my head. It's so unintuitive. So knowing what shift does makes it a lot easier to remember what unshift does. So unshift, kind of the opposite of push. Add something to the beginning of the array. Let's see if it's all a lie. So we got G.I. Joe, and we got G.I. Joe, the second one, where I think he gets killed right away. Spoiler alert. But I haven't actually seen it, so I could be wrong. And if we did this right, if we're right about unshift, app.flicks, yep, added it to the beginning. So now we just need to do the same thing in the UL. So how do we do that? All we know how to do is append child. How do we put it at the beginning of the list instead of the end? Anybody know or have any guesses? Thinking along the right lines. What's the opposite of append? Prepend. Let's look that up. Prepend. Here it is, parent node prepend. Uh-oh. This is an experimental technology. Check the browser compatibility table. Does not work at all in IE or Edge. If it were just IE, maybe we could live with that. Edge is a modern browser, and it doesn't support it, so sorry, we have to do it the hard way. But prepend is really nice. Instead, it's actually something really close to what you said. You said prepend before. There's one called insertBefore. Node insertBefore. Inserts a node before the reference node as a child of a specified parent node. Okay. Look at the syntax. A little easier to understand. So parent node dot insert before. Then you pass it your new node. It's so far the same syntax as append child. But then you have to tell it which one you're putting it before. So if you want to put it at the very beginning, you have to put whatever's at the beginning now as the second argument. Okay, let's get up to that point. Okay, so this dot list dot insert before. What are we inserting? We're inserting item. Then the second argument needs to be whatever the list's first child is right now. In a just world, there'd be a property called firstChild. Okay, turns out even in this hellscape we actually live in, there's still a property called firstChild. Nah, it's a just. We're going to make it a just world because we like have grit and inclusion and gratitude, right? Okay, so that returns the first child. So we could say What here? This.list.firstChild. So we're inserting item before the list's firstChild. If we're reading the documentation correctly, that ought to do what we're asking for. So let's try it out. White House down. Magic Mike. Was it called XXL? The second one? Hey, it put it up the top. We did it. Yep, it works. Questions? Add flicks to the beginning instead of the end.